Hi everyone, Stepan here with another training game. Let's see. Okay, so my opponent played e4. I'm gonna play the Caro-Kann. Obviously, I hope everything is okay with the sound and with the video. I haven't played a training game in a while. Okay, we have the exchange variation. Looks like it's going to be the main line. So c3, knight f6, bishop f4, bishop g4. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I've been studying the exchange variation recently, and okay, he goes for h3. Now I'm gonna go g6, so he's preventing bishop to g4. I'm gonna go bishop f5 and allow him to double my pawns if he wishes to do so. This is the second most popular way to play the exchange variation. I find that white's attacks aren't as powerful in these lines, and especially if white takes on f5. And especially in this move order, where now basically he either takes or castles. Yeah. I think this is a move, although I'm not sure. But I'm not a big fan of moving the bishop twice. So I'm just going to go bishop to g7. If he goes knight h4, I'm going to go bishop e6 because the knight then cannot go to g5. So it seems okay. I also have the e4 square for my knight now that the bishop has moved. So bishop f4 is designed to prevent e5. But if I go knight e4... he wants to play queen d2 anyway. So if knight e4, knight d2, knight d2, queen d2, he has bishop h6. Then again, I'm not sure I want a castle yet, since his king is still in the center, but he's probably gonna go kingside anyway, so I'm gonna castle. I never have knight h5 because of h3. So how do I prepare e5? So if rook e8, knight h4, I could consider bishop d7 for e5 and then knight h5, e5. I could also consider knight e4, e5 after rook e8. So rook e8, knight d2. Rook e8, knight d2, knight h5, bishop h2, e5, d5, knight e5, knight e5, bishop e5, bishop e5, rook e5, knight f3, or bishop h5, rook h5. Still, I'm gonna go rook e8. I don't think there's a better move in this position. Unless there's some trouble with f7, but I don't think so. I could also consider playing knight d7 instead of knight h5, but knight h5 comes with tempo. So what's that position like? Knight h5, bishop h2, e5. Oh, stupid, he has g4. Yeah, he has g4. I cannot play knight h5. So knight e4 instead. I don't want to waste too much time. I'm already down 2 minutes. I could consider queen b6. I could also consider going for a minority attack. If I go knight e4, he may go bishop d3, but then knight d2. If bishop f5, knight f3. If queen b6, does he really have to play b3? I've taken over the diagonal h7, b1, so I'm not really sure how he defends if he doesn't play b3. So I may also go rook c8 first, because rook c8 is on the c3 pawn, and after queen b6, b3, he's playing very quickly. On queen b6, does he go knight h5? or queen b3 even. I'm gonna go queen b6. I want to see how he defends. Because if he weakens the c3 pawn, I will be very happy. And I think knight d7 is a much better option than knight h5 because of knight e5. Also, it seems better than knight e4 because I keep controlling e5. So his options are queen b3, and that's it, as far as I can see it. Because if b3, then e5 becomes much more powerful because the c3 pawn is hanging in the end. So if b3, knight d7, can he then go c4? He could go c4, but the pawn is still hanging on d4. So b3, knight d7, c4, knight d4. Knight d4, queen d4. Bishop e3. I have... What do I have? He's on my a7 pawn. I'm not sure. Yeah, queen b3 seemed like the only option. Now, I would like to take and go knight d7, e5. But then again, a5 is also tempting. Okay, I'm gonna take. And I think I will go knight d7. So if I go a5 with the idea of bishop c2, yeah, maybe knight d7 is better. But then on knight h4, I will have to go bishop to e6. Okay, knight d7. I need to control e5. I feel like e5 is still the critical square and I have to play e5. So if I can manage that, then it should be equal. Before e5, I think white has an advantage. Against bishop b5, I think I just go a6. I'm not afraid of bishop c6 if I don't hang my a pawn. I would really like to go a6, b5, but his bishop is still on the diagonal. Okay, so now on bishop e6 he has knight g5. I did not see that. I didn't see knight g5. I don't really want to play knight f8. So bishop e6, knight g5, knight f8. I do get the g5 square, which seems okay. I don't think I can get away with bishop e4. I'm just gonna lose that pawn, so I think I have to go for this. If he doesn't play knight g5, I'm gonna go h6. Okay. So now not h6 because he wins a pawn. I have to throw in a6 first. And he has to take, otherwise I play h6. I think he should have gone knight h5 there. Sorry, knight g5. Because even though his rook is now on my bishop, I still have knight f8, unless he wants to give up the exchange. Knight g5 just takes the bishop. I have a feeling I'm playing pretty fast, and I'm still 2 minutes down. Okay. This was the tempo I was counting on. Now, he's gonna go knight f3 definitely. And if I go knight g5, he's just gonna go h4. So I don't think there's much benefit to playing knight g5. And I want to move my knight away and go e6 or e5. To where do I want my knight? I think knight f8 is the best move for knight d7 for controlling the e5 square. So that's what I'm gonna do. I don't think I get anything from playing knight g5. In fact, I just lose a tempo. Okay, knight d7 before e6 or not? Yeah, I think knight d7 is necessary immediately. Otherwise, knight e5 is coming. I don't know, this seems pretty equal. Unless I can get some pressure on his queenside pawn structure, which seems fairly weakened. So my plan is to go e6, transfer my rook to the c file, and go b5, b4, break through that structure. If he wishes to exchange everything on the e5 square, I have no way of avoiding that, so I'll just take. But I don't think it changes the fact that my two rooks are going to be looking at his c file. Unless he has enough time to... maybe he has rook a5 now. He has rook a5 now. On e6 he plays rook d5. Yeah, rook a5. Rook a5, I have to go knight b6. Yeah, my e8 rook isn't defended, so on rook a5, knight b6 is forced. Yeah, he found it. But still, e6, rook ec8 is coming. I don't think he has any way to put more pressure. So e6. I don't know why he moved back. He probably wants to go knight e5. But to be honest, I don't mind having a knight versus bishop in this position. So e6, knight e5, bishop e5, bishop e5. Is that scary? I don't want to go knight d7 and repeat. Okay, I'm gonna go e6 and and allow knight e5. Okay, so he probably wants to go h4, h5. I think my knight goes back to d7 now. And if he repeats rook a5, I'm gonna go rook ec8. Now we're safe again. The e5 square is covered, the d5 pawn is defended. And b5 is coming. So I think he should have left the rook on a5 to be able to double rooks to prevent b5. Okay, if he doubles on the e file, I don't see the threat, because he can never get to my d5 pawn. I always have bishop f8, he never has bishop d6, so I'm never getting mated. And if he plays rook ae1, I'll just go b5, and on b4, I'm pretty sure his structure will be too weak to defend. Because on any cb4 I have rook b6. If he tries defending, I take 3 times. It's just a very basic minority attack now. He could have c4 d5, but I'm covering f8 a couple of times. Okay, I have to take this. Okay. Do I go b5 straight away? Or do I take the bishop? If I don't take the bishop, d5 isn't as strong. If I take the bishop, he takes with the rook. And he probably will have c4 on b4. So let's imagine bishop e5, rook e5, b5, rook ae1, b4, c4, dc4, d5, ed5, rook e8 check, king g7. No, he doesn't have rook e8 check, rook e8, rook e8, king g7. I don't think he has anything. So I'm pretty sure I can just take this. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna take, unless he takes with the pawn, in which case I feel even safer because I have king g7, h6, rook h8, which I could go for immediately actually. That's not a bad plan either. Okay, but b5 seems better. b5. If he plays b4, that could be a problem. Yeah, he could go b4 actually. Why was I thinking I would get to play b4? Yeah, he's gonna go b4. Huh. Okay, so let's switch plans. King g7, h6. And pressure down the h file. That seems promising. I need to undermine his structure somewhere. Yeah, the problem with b5 is that he plays b4, and then my a6 pawn is forever undefended. And for as long as I keep my b pawn on b7, my a6 pawn is fine. Okay, yeah, he plays b4 immediately. Now I was thinking h6. He probably goes f4 or h4. If he goes h4, I take, he takes, and I go rook h8. If he plays f4, take, and rook h8. If h6, b5, I take it, and I don't think he gets the pawn back. So I'm gonna go h6. I'm trying to weaken his structure. His queenside pawn structure is fine, even though he has doubled pawns. It's controlling a lot of squares, and unless I manage to play rook a8 and a5, I'm not making any progress there. So I need to open up some space for my rooks down the h file. The problem with the Exchange Caro-Kann, if white doesn't play an attacking game, is that it goes into an endgame. Unfortunately. Maybe I could have gone rook h8 instead of king h6. Okay, king g7 seems necessary. A funny blunder would be rook e1, rook e3. Okay, it wouldn't actually, because the e6 pawn would be hanging. I was thinking that I could go f6 trapping the rook. I have to make sure there's nothing hanging on the e file. So, rook h8, h4. Rook cc8, h5. f6 wins a pawn, but not really, because I'm not defending e6 anymore. I still feel like I need to go... do you know what I could do? I could go rook h8, and then h4 I could go f6, and then rook h5. Okay, that seems good. So h4, f6, rook e3, rook h5. And then I still have time for king f7 to defend e6. I mean, it's probably, okay, probably still close to equal. but he has 2 isolated pawns and a set of doubled pawns. So I have a feeling that I should be able to make progress. Let's start with rook c8 though. I think this is necessary. I don't think my rook was doing anything on c6 except for playing against b5. Now if he plays b5, I'm gonna take the a file. And if he plays rook a1 with the idea of a5 of b5, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. We're playing on 3 fronts basically. There's b5 in the position, h4, h5, and the e6 pawn is weak. I have a5 ideas, I have f6, e5 ideas, and I can double up my rooks down the h file. So it's a very rich position, I think. And again, black should be better. What's king h2? That's a very strange move. I don't get king h2. Somebody's messaging me, sorry about this. If you see me playing a game, please don't message me. Okay, I mean, I need to start taking control of the Kingside. So either rook h5 or rook h4. Rook h4 seems more active. My idea, since the king is on h2, is to double up my rooks. And then maybe I could go for g5, but maybe even rook a8. Rook a8 seems a bit more promising. If he plays rook g4, do I go into a single rook endgame with rook h8? Or do I take and go b6, a5? If I take, I'm straightening his pawn structure, so I definitely will not have enough. Okay. As expected. So now let's switch back. We just won a tempo. Now if he plays b5 and starts grabbing pawns, I'm going g5, g4. I could also just take and defend my b pawn. My problem is that my e6 pawn is hanging whenever I try to go f5. Okay, we did win a tempo. So, can I defend my e-pawn somehow? Can I even go rook h5 and g5? That seems interesting. I'm gonna go rook h5. Rook h5 defends g5. And I want to go g5, g4, because I don't see any other way to make progress. He never has king g3, so his king is completely dead. I think king h2 was a big mistake. Although, whether it's enough to win or not, I don't know. Okay, how does he prevent g4? So g5, b5 takes, rook b7, g4. He doesn't have f3 because the h3 pawn hangs. He doesn't have a rook g3 or rook g1. Yeah, I'm playing g5. He can never go rook back to g1 or rook to g3 because he can never take the pawn. The h pawn is pinned. Okay. That's a good move that I did not see. Why didn't I see that? Is g4 enough? So g4, h4, rook g4, king f3. Rook g5. It seems like I don't have anything better. And if he goes rook to g3, I will have f5. So I think he has to take. And if he goes rook g3 after this capture instead of king f3, then okay, he didn't go king f3. I'm happy to see that. I'm going rook g5. Okay. I feel like my rook is necessary down the a file. But then again, if he does play b5 and I take and he plays rook a7, I could go rook h1. Okay, let's not allow that. I'm just going rook h8. I don't want to allow b5 that easily. I need to start playing quickly. I'm down to 2 minutes. I still have a better pawn structure. I feel like my king needs to be on the queen side now. So if he goes b5, I'm going rook a8, and if he takes, I'm recapturing with the rook. And then if rook h3, rook g1. Okay, I'm very happy to see this. Yeah, okay, so now I can safely move towards the queen side, I feel. So king f6, if f4, rook g2. If rook f3, he's blocking his f-pawn. I want to get my king somewhere here, either b3 or c4. I need to include my king. The problem with f4 is that he loses a pawn, so he cannot play f4. And yeah, rook f3 helps my king. So I'm not sure about rook f1. It makes little sense. Rook g3 also seems dubious because my king is quicker. Although, yeah, okay, now he transfers back. Why would he play rook f1 and then rook a1? I don't get that. I want to defend my f-pawn to free up my king. If he plays b5, I'm still going rook a8. Maybe rook g7 is a waste of tempo, but I want my king over here. I don't think there's anything going on the king side now, unless this pawn reaches f5, which doesn't seem likely. I know that on rook a8 I'm giving up the h-file, but at least my king will be able to reach the queen side. Okay, let's move. If my king reaches c6 and he doesn't have b5 anymore, then my rook doesn't have to give up the h-file. Okay, I'm going king c6. I need my king over here. I know he's gonna go c4, but all I want to prevent is b5, and with my king on c6 I'm still preventing b5, and if he ever plays rook c1 I'm gonna go king b6. Of course I'm not gonna take on c4 unless I can play, now that my king is on c6 I can actually play rook h4 and rook d8. I don't get rook d1, rook e1, sorry. So I'm just gonna go rook h4, playing against c4. I don't think he has any sacrifices with rook f7, rook f7, rook e6. Okay. Can I afford to go f5? Having to defend f7 is very irritating, but I'm gonna have to keep defending e6 if I move the pawn. So maybe king b6 now, just to get away from the c file. One minute on the clock. My god. Okay, I don't get what he's doing. I think he's just waiting for my time to run out. Okay, let's challenge that rook. And if he leaves the attack of my f7 pawn, okay, now, okay, king back, I need to defend e6, and I want to go f5, and I want to trade a pair of rooks. I want to get behind over here. Maybe I could even consider rook e4, but I didn't really want to do that, because then he goes rook h1. But at least I'll be able to play f5 safely, relatively safely. Yeah. Okay, now let's go back, let's prepare to defend. If he plays rook h8, I'm playing rook g1. Okay, now I'm gonna go rook e4. And I think f5. I need to free up my other rook and make progress. If I don't, it's just gonna be a draw, and I don't want to draw. Okay. Fixing his f rook. Okay. King b5, preventing c4. Okay. I wish he goes rook a5. I don't know how to make progress. He's defending everything. I need to come to the 8th rank somehow. To the 1st rank, sorry. I'll try transferring my rook to the a file and playing a5. I don't want to draw. I need to break through on the other side of the board if I'm gonna do anything. I'm such an idiot. I don't believe I did that. How could I lose a rook like that? Okay, let's have a look at the game. I'm so upset. Okay. Let's see. Queen b6 is a mistake. And then yeah, he should have gone knight g5 immediately. Yeah, rook a5 immediately. could have won that pawn. Once I defended the pawn, it was okay. Yeah, I was correct. Black is slightly better, but it's really hard to break through. All zeros until I blundered my rook. Yeah, it was just a draw. I should have repeated. But I didn't want to draw. I mean, it's a training game. I'm gonna try to win. When I play these, I'm gonna pretend that I'm playing a lower rated opponent in a tournament game, and I'll try to complicate things. Yeah. Rook h3 just wins. But wait, what if I go rook g4? Yeah, then I cannot defend my pawn. Yeah, I completely missed that I lose my rook. On rook a6 I just lose my rook. There's nothing to be done. This is it. I didn't see that. Okay, since I haven't played a training game in a while, maybe I needed this to get back into shape. I mean, I've been playing training games on my training account, but I haven't been recording them. This is a lot harder when I have to talk. So yeah, I hope you got something from the game. Sorry for blundering my rook. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye.